Hey look, it's my buddy Starlink. Let's give him a video call and see what he's up to.
When I was a kid growing up in the 90s, I was always on the Nintendo and Sony side of the fence, enjoying their games and consoles. But that doesn't mean I wasn't aware of what was going on the other side of the pond with Sega, and in this case, the Saturn. There were a lot of games that I really wanted to play on that console. But again, being a child, I was lucky enough to be able to rent a game or a console, let alone buy one. So the Saturn always took a back seat on a console that I would eventually purchase later on in life when prices go down or whatever. That never ended up happening. And as you know, in the modern day, collecting for the Saturn can be a very pricey endeavor. I mean, some of these games go for astronomical prices, even just for the disc alone. So it can be kind of crazy. And yes, there is emulation, but as you may or may not be aware, Saturn emulation is kind of tricky, and it's never 100% accurate. So when I discovered RockerGaming's channel and was browsing through his Saturn-related videos, I finally decided to bite the bullet and buy a custom modded console from this guy. So I not only have the ability to play imports where the Saturn truly shines, but with the ability to play backups as well. So I'll finally be able to experience the Saturn library. But that's not all. One of the more recent videos that Rocker did on his channel was of a modified GameCube with RGB lighting effects. And I thought that looked pretty cool. So I asked him if he could do a similar effect with the Sega Saturn. And it turns out it works. But without me trying to explain it with you, why don't I let RockerGaming show you how it's done?
Thanks Starlink. Modded Saturn with RGB lighting, you got it.
You.
Alright, now that the console's all disassembled, it's time for that casing to get a nice UV spot treatment in the RetroBright station. This will help it look brand new again. Whenever you're removing an SMD chip from a board, your best friend is flux, and honestly, the more the better. Okay, we're installing a new laser to make sure that the system's going to read the games as fast as absolutely possible. Make sure you check out the card in the description, as I've done a tutorial on how to install this yourself. You're going to want to make sure you check that out. So Starlink said he wanted RGB lighting effects, huh? Okay, well here's how I'm going to do it. I've got a Bluetooth RGB controller in my hand right now. We're going to tear this sucker apart, get it down to the bare board, and use that to control the entire RGB lighting effects. let's take a break from that RGB mod and install a Modchip. This will allow you to play backups of any of your Sega Saturn games. Okay, with all that mod work done, let's see if we can put this thing back together and hope that it actually works the way it's supposed to. Well, I would consider the RGB lighting to be a success. It's pretty sweet. Control it any way you want via your phone. But the real question is, does the actual mods work the way that they're supposed to? So let's check those out next.